Hey people, fixing the camera here. Move back a little. Hey people, I'm here, looking a little bit droopy eye. People you know me personally, they used to call me Droopy. I have AKA many names. Doesn't mean that I'm a criminal. It just means that I have a lot of friends. It's different life phases and different inner circles at different times, because we can't say that we had the same inner circle we had when we were kids to now, obviously, right? So I just wanted to say that this is going to be a really candid video. I'm gonna try not to make it political, but I am going to talk a little bit about political and somewhat my religious background, I guess, at the current moment, if anyone cares. And I'll try to make it as short as possible. I sprinkle a little bit of truth of my life. I know we're used to on YouTube and social media in general to show the good parts, but I gotta sometimes talk about the bad parts, the not so sweet parts, and just like what is really going on, and just to get it off my chest and to feel better. I know I'm using you guys as a therapy tool, and I hope you do guys who truly do make me stronger, just like, you know, certain friends and certain family members, they do, you know, give me strength, you know, and God also gives me strength. Okay, like I just said it, right? And God gives me strength too, right? So let's get into it. So with religion, currently I wouldn't say I'm a born again Christian, because I'm not. I'm more like accepting it. You know, I've gone through the whole thing with Catholic, you know, rituals, I guess you want to call it. Like I've been baptized. I did the Holy Communion. You know, I was brought up Catholic. My background is I'm a Hispanic male, as obviously I'm gonna say it like that. And so if you guys have any confusion, and I am heterosexual, by the way, I'm just saying, ladies, if you find a geek like me attractive. So I know the purity of the world right now is going rampant, and women are finding themselves. But the dating life currently, even for me, obviously I'm not any shining example of a dating life, because I don't have much of it. And I'm being franked, because does it upset me? Does it depress me? Yes, of course it does. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. That does, but I'm not gonna let it define me. I'm not gonna let it, you know, totally bother me. I know for a fact I'm a somewhat attractive looking person. I wouldn't say I'm a model or anything like that. I'll say I'm just a moderately good looking person. You know, I'm not like a model, like I said. So, but I'm definitely not the ugliest. Like, at least there's a gauge, right? Right? There's I'm in the middle somewhere, right? I hope most people would say that, but I'm not gonna, you know, your judge of my looks is your subject. It's all subjective, I think, to be honest, because, you know, there is that old saying, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But yeah, I digress, because I don't want to sound like I'm quoting people. But as you can see, you see I have a rosary. I wear this a couple of my most recent videos, and I'm not showing it off to like brag or anything like that. It's just I truly believe that there is a higher power. And I know that sounds weird. People probably like, oh, you don't look like that religious type. I'm not really. I'm not. I'm just being honest. But I have felt a calm to it, you know, in most recent years. And, you know, sometimes people say, oh, yeah, as you get older, you start to find religion. I can say that, yes, it may happen that way, because you get wiser and you start to see things in a different light. And with that, I want to bring that feeling back to me, the purity of life, or the most good of life, at least from what I can see in my small time on earth. That's just what I'm seeing. Obviously, people have their opinions. Even myself, I used to be an atheist, and then I became an agnostic when when I guess God started to show Himself to me. That's how I would put it. And then I do read the Bible. I listen to passages here and there. I'm not gonna every day I do that. No, I don't. But it does help to pray. It's therapeutical. Studies have shown that. And also, what I want to say is that I feel that the whole thing where people say, is there a conspiracy theory where we're living in simulation? Now, that's where things could get muddy, right? I say that in my personal experience, because when I've prayed, things don't always come true, or I don't know. It's not supposed to be a wish. It's supposed to just be a crutch, or I would say a hope of happening, if God willing lets it happen. But if it does happen, because like I said, not everything you wish for or you pray for is going to happen, but it does, but you were wishing it, what would you think then? What's going on? To me, that either proves there's a higher being, or it's just a weird coincidence. What else can it be? It has to be either of those two. I don't know where else you can go with that. So just your opinion for you people out there that are not religious. I would also like your opinion on that. And it helps with depression. It helps with, at least to me, it does. And I'm not I probably pray the most unethical way a person can ever pray, but I hope God sees that I'm not a bad person. At least that's what sorry, I'm gonna get a little bit emotional. I was trying not to. I said, you would think that if there is a higher being out there and you're praying, He would assume you're not trying to be evil, because we all have good and evil in us. So yeah, and you guys help me out. Also, that's why I do these videos, and I'm getting really candid right now, because life is short. And if you don't see many videos from me, again, it could be my living situation, and it could be something else. I don't want to get too deep about it, or too really in the weeds of my life. I don't want to do that, because I try to be a very close and private person, as you guys may notice. And I'm trying to be vague, because you could build your own picture, your imagination of what I'm saying. I think a lot of us are adults and can read between the lines, And I want to talk about my living situation as well. My living situation and my dating life currently is non-existent. My dating life is non-existent. It's very fragmented, and I'm only getting older, and I'm trying dating sites, and it's not the greatest experience at all. And you'd think that in a modern age with technology, that we would make more connections and we would find those people much easier. But it just makes us more picky. It just really what it does, it just makes us more picky. But it's not great. It's a muddy waters up in there, for real. When they say there's a lot of fish in the sea, it's not an easy task. Extremely hard. And because I talked about religion, I know there's Christian dating sites and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't really consider myself a Christian or super religious or anything like that. I'm far from that. But like I said before, what I said before about religion, so far in my personal point of view, it's doing a lot of good for me. You take that with what you will. Like I said, I was an agnostic at one point as well, and now I'm fully forced that full believing that there has to be a higher power. So I would say I still consider myself agnostic, but I'm leaning towards there has to be a God. There has to be. There's no, like if I try to pretend that things they just exist because they just do, then what's the point of living? If there was no purpose of us living, what was the purpose of creating this? It was just a mistake. That's the story we're gonna tell society for years on end, that it was just a mistake. I don't like that. I really don't. So I don't know. I don't think that is the truth. But is the truth are we living in a simulation? I hope not. I hope that is also a thing that I don't hope. But you could take that as a parallel, like, or maybe it's just that we are living in a simulation. That's why things happen when you pray for it, or because someone is watching. Well, is that person considered the higher power? Maybe. I mean, maybe it could be another just being that's more smarter than us, and that's the higher power. I don't know. I'm not gonna pretend like I know all the answers, because I don't, and I'm not gonna pretend I'm like super smart when I'm not. I would say I'm at least average IQ. I have average IQ, and as an average IQ person, and with the living situation I have, it kind of sucks. It's really stressful, and I wish I had the money to be on my own. I've lived with roommates pretty much all my life, and some people may, whoa, what do you mean all your life? I do consider my parents roommates, even when I was younger until now. And they're not the most, how would I put it? They're not my parents, I love them to death, by the way. I really do. We have a strange relationship, but I do love them. They're getting older. They graciously let me live, in their presence is as whatever I can say. You can put that in whatever context, but I do pay my way. I'm just gonna let you guys know that there's a difference when someone is living somewhere and they're not paying nothing, and I'm paying something. That's at least what I can tell you. And then what else I can tell you is that life is really tough, and people shouldn't make fun of you or downplay your situation because you didn't become someone famous or someone that has their life together, because we're all flawed somehow, and trying to pretend when you're perfect, when even people that seem to be perfect on the surface, they're really not. We're not seeing the whole story, obviously. So you gotta always think about that. So anyway, I know this video was a little bit downer, by the way, but I hope you guys see me in a good spirit. But again, if you don't see many videos from me, please pray for me, and think of me, and think I hope he's doing good, because and this may sound like what is he trying to say? Is he gonna commit suicide or something? No, never. Like I said, I do believe in God. He's a center, he's a rock in my belief system. So yeah. So, but I can't control other people's actions. So I'm just gonna let you know that too. So just be mindful of that, and so I'm gonna leave it at that. Like and share the video. Being really candid for you guys. I know I'm different location, by the way. You know, you might see another video, and it's gonna be in a lighter note. You know, probably related to gaming or something like that. Hope you guys are having a good one out there. Sorry for the background noise if you hear it. And yeah, tell me who's watching. Tell me, you know, what you like to see from me, and all that stuff. You know, like every other YouTuber says 100 times over or more, million times, because it depends on how many views you get, right? So yeah, I know I look like I was crying or something like that. I have not been crying, but I have been enjoying myself with a little bit of the things that God has given us on earth. And yes, you have your own judgments for that. So I'll see you in the next one. Later.